Morning, everyone. Yeah, I don't know what Elon was thinking offering that much for Twitter. I think he got a little ahead of himself there. I mean, I will say this: Twitter's a hell of a platform. I mean, that's for sure. Wow. AMLX. Yeah, but it doesn't trade much. AMLX looks fine. It really does, but I mean, it trades 700,000 shares a day. Again, things like this can work, but you know, two things. I don't see a clear pivot just yet. Maybe, kind of this 31 area, but it's just too thin. But definitely a big move, right? Nice cup, possible handle. It's definitely a chart setup, and it's a recent young IPO. So AMLX, it's just thin. Man, RXDX2. Remember I mentioned that sucker? I said it was possibly coming back to life. What's up, girl? What now? Right, you got your bone, you got your treat, you got food, you got water, and you got Bailey. All right. The other one that's kind of getting interesting too is this Tesla. I like how it keeps rejecting that 288.50. Maybe a possible little low cheat setup down there. Yeah, FSLR maybe. EMPH no. I mean maybe. Would have to clear these tops pretty convincingly. Or on volume. Whoops. Netflix I kind of like. As crazy as that sounds, I know it had a pretty big day yesterday, but this thing's been acting different. And it bottomed in May. It bottomed in May. Stock market's still basically hanging out right at its lows, and Netflix isn't. I know it has probably tons of overhead, but you know, this isn't terrible. This is like very one of the few times I would play a name below the 200. The 10, 20, 50 are heading up. You know, create this nice little clean 250 pivot. You know, what AKRO on a pullback. I don't like to buy the pullbacks necessarily. Maybe a dip I set up or something, but yeah, BJ looks damn good. Yeah, no, I'm good on this. You either buy the EP, which I wouldn't have done here either. Yeah, if Netflix got an inside day, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Nice little tight day that just basically, let's call it like it holds you know, 238 or something. Can hold this area kind of. Maybe come down, test the 50 and perk back up. Who knows? Who knows what it'll look like? But I'm not afraid to buy something after a big green day like yesterday. It just has to be leaving the range. It has to be breaking out. Like I remember vividly X. I remember this one, right? Right over here. So it had this big green day, right? And then as soon as it started to basically, accelerate again on big volume, and it started to take out like these tops up here, and I don't remember if it was these tops or these tops, but it did the exact same thing. And I mean, okay, guys, things that fail to break down can break out really hard, and things that fail to break out can break down really hard. So that's exactly what X did. It tried to, stock was getting right back, built this little, base just underneath the 200, and you could have thought, oh, this is gonna go, and then it failed to break out, right? And what did it do? Did it egg or did it tennis ball, right? What did it do? Right, tennis ball. And so when something like this happens, it gets right back up above all moving averages. It should be on your radar. And then what did X try doing again? Breaking down, right, with this ugly fat gap down, and then instantly got right back up into the range. I'm not afraid to buy something after a big green day like that. It's just got to be leaving the range. So, and X worked out pretty well. 50% move, just a short amount of time. Same thing with Netflix. Could be it's not a similar chart, but you know, yeah, these lithium names are still acting well too. happened? Trend traders. Morning. Yeah, snow's another one. It's acting pretty constructive. It's acting well. It's holding this trend line well. A series of higher lows. It's getting tucked in just underneath the 200. Yeah, this thing's starting to get interesting. Kind of see what it does. Maybe if market rips, this could be this nice little low cheat setup back into the 200. You don't have to get very aggressive at all with it. It's pretty obvious that it's been holding this trend line. And then again, if that's what your belief is, because that's what your eyes are telling you, if it starts to maybe break over yesterday's high, it's going to start to get up over every moving average on the hourly chart. And then same deal basically with the daily chart, as long as it doesn't reject, that, call it 178. If it doesn't reject there and it starts to push back up, it'll be above all its moving averages besides the 200 on the daily. What's going on here? But yeah, snow's not a bad one. Thanks for putting my eyes on it. I almost forgot about this dang thing. I was looking at it the other day. I just never marked the chart up. Morning, Blaine. Good, good. Um, you know, things look, things look. I'm looking at snow right now. Getting its act together. Snow, Netflix, AMRC. BJ looks pretty good too. Yeah, there's a couple things going on. CLH2 just to keep the thing on watch. Yeah, the Tesla too. Over 288 should be pretty interesting. Morning. What's up, brother? So here's the thing with snow. This is how I would actually do it. And again, remember, I'd have to see the market turning up. What I like about snow is, it put in its low in June, and again, the market's basically out here making fresh lows um, right now, essentially, yesterday. And what have we had since June? Well, we've had a series of higher lows on the daily chart, and then it's right back at this trend line, right? It's held so far, and it's putting in a potential pivot right at 175, right? And if it can get through that level at 175, we're going to be over all of the key moving averages on the 60-minute chart, and we should be working our, if again in a healthy market, we're working our way back through the moving averages on the daily. And then what I would be looking to do is basically another buy as it's basically taking out these tops up here, this 200 area, and but I would add small. Like I would start with a really small piece, because it's not a perfect setup. It's like a low cheat setup, and then I would add to that position later. Again, in a healthy market as it's breaking up over the 200. And you'll find out quickly if it's just going to go to the 200 and reject. It's just got to tighten up some more maybe, but you'll be sitting on a small position, down at 175. That's working for you. And if you're wrong, the loss will be absolutely tiny, because you're looking to build in that position. You're not looking to get, full size right away. So the thing I like about Netflix, again, is it also put its low in May. And I hate buying things with this much overhead supply, but this thing, found its bottom, 5 months ago. So, and it's just been building a series of higher lows and now just flattening out back up above the 10, 20, 50. It's got clearly some overhead. Um, but a move to the 300 or the 200 is a 20% move. That's a great trade. So, yes, sir. Oh, shit. Yeah, I got it for you right here. These lithium names too. They just might need a little bit more time to finish getting their shit together. But and then something like LNG. I mean, just when everybody thinks these oil energy names are done, LNGs just needs to finish building out here this right hand side. But doesn't look terrible. Gold had itself a nice little day yesterday too, and I keep bringing this up. Gold tends to bottom before our general markets, so I will keep my eyes on gold. I don't want to own it. It's too slow, but I kind of want to be able to know when I can and can start getting more aggressive. And when I see TLT going up, and when I see the dollar going down, and when I see gold going up, and when I see a few more setups setting up and working, then yeah, SQM's a nice one. They're a lithium company. Yeah, they're another one. We'll see. I want if this thing just continues to find support on the rising 100. Well, that would be constructive, and then hopefully, in about 3 weeks or so, you know, we'll get something tight. We'll see what if it holds. It's done it in the past, so but it just this volatility needs to contract a bit. Meaning I'd want this thing to go back up to like 210, 212 and just start going sideways and getting tight right underneath these tops. I like PLL too, but it's fucking thin. And it's coming right back. Wow. Well, maybe this thing's a tennis ball. definitely some support at the 200. RXDX could use some sideways. AMRC could use some sideways. INSW could use some sideways. Good luck, guys. I'll be sitting on my hands here for the first few minutes. Unless, of course.
MITA, CBO, 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 SOBR, AVYA, TRKX, FORZ,
Yeah, FSLR. I just still don't see it as perfect, man. Unfortunately, I just don't view it as perfect yet. This move up has been awesome, but I don't see anything just yet. Or maybe what I really don't trust is this damn market. That's what it really comes down to.
MUX, RE,
TMC I took you out yesterday. Yeah, yep. And guys, this is part of the reason why I don't trade liquid names. Think about it. It's traded 7,500 shares today,
MUX,
and that's the open you
MUX,
got. All right. That's why I don't trade liquid pieces of shit.
MUX,
Because you get taken out of your position on 7,500 shares.
MUX,
I like Celestial Energy Group. Or Constellation. I am mad about this one, dude. Very mad. I was actually looking at this thing down here in the 54s, and I was like, man, this thing's building out a really nice base, and it's a young IPO, and I just never fucking took it. There wasn't a setup down here, and then it gapped up, and I didn't want to chase a gap up on no news. This gapped up the same day EMPH posted earnings, so
RE,
wasn't
RE,
really what I wanted to do. Take a stock $7-8 higher than where I was looking at it. Netflix, okay.
MUX, ISR, CONEV, ISR, PHAS, QT, PHAS, GLTO.
It was
PHAS.
VRTX. We were talking about
GLTO.
this little area yesterday. I just didn't find it clean enough to take. And sure enough, this morning or yesterday. No, so I guess this was a downtrend break.
SFT. PHAS.
I don't know. That sector's strong. Healthcare, pharmaceutical.
MOS.
Apple's definitely not helping anything. What'd you say, Mitchie? You got some 92 bids out there? Is that what I saw yesterday? God, if that happens, you're predicting chaos. Dude, if this goes down here, S&P 500 goes to like fucking 300, maybe even 280 if that happens. $250. Holy shit, man. It's end of the world kind of shit right there. That would be like $100 trillion in wealth gone. Which would be crazy. 250 would be an ultimate reset, man. We'd have a bull market for another 10 years. Legitimately. It would take, well, what would it be big to get back up? 100%? It would take 10 years just to get back up to those highs. You know, at like 8 or 10% a year. Yeah, well, if you had a kid in the future, little Henny would definitely have a good average. My stepdad's got a $32 cost basis in Apple. Listen to this one, Mitch. He bought it way back in the day at 32 or what was it? At 32 bucks, 500 shares. And with all the splits, all the adjusted splits and everything, now he's got 16,000 shares. That $16,000 investment was worth like 2.1 million at the highs. Yeah, 20 years ago. Honestly, people talk about life-changing wealth, 16 grand to 2.1 million. No, he still owns it. He still Yeah, well, I mean, his portfolio, he's gone through the ringer. He went through 2008 and he went through the whole bit, but yeah, he's always held his stocks. He owns Nvidia from way lower. He owns Tesla from way lower. He owns Facebook from IPO day. Yeah, he's still watched it come all the way back down. He still owns Netflix. He hasn't sold shit in his portfolio, but it's up. It's up. It's gone from like 2020 to now, from like 800,000 to like 6 million, and all he's done is just sit and do nothing. I mean, I guess that's the power of the market when you choose good companies, and even having seen a bunch of them come back, he's still doing well. That's my stepdad. He's already a rich doctor, but, you know, the rich get richer, as they say.
AMIH.
Well, it just seems like everything's taking a little breather. Oh, man, this is so nice. Literally right up to the area on FSLR and just rejecting. If this can go sideways 2 more days, oh boy, we could be cooking with something on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, AMPS did an offering in after hours. Yeah, they totally shit on everything. Again, it's why I tend to avoid these thinly traded names. Also, guys, if you're gonna trade these cheaper companies too, it's good to know like, if they've got like any shelf registrations. It's good to know if they've got any offerings on the docket. Come on, dollar, come on down. TLT being green, that's nice.
FNGR.
Yeah, just the company website. For anybody who uses, you know, TOS,
PHAS.
or just go to Finbiz, right? And then go to
PHAS.
their company website. Or another thing you can do is just take this little finger here, this little hand, and then double click right there, and then it takes you straight to the company website.
LTCCF.
And you can figure out if they have an open shelf.
FNGR.
Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. I mean, it's just crazy how even yesterday, which appeared to be a pretty good day, you know, it seems like these sellers in the futures
LTCCF.
market, they're taking advantage of the low liquidity. I kind of noticed the handful of days. They're taking advantage of the low liquidity to drag things down.
LITM.
Anybody who pays attention to the futures market probably knows what I'm talking about. Shit's trading like a small cap in after hours. And they're doing a great job breaking stocks through key levels or the futures market through key levels in,
LTCCF. LTCCF.
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
CONEV.
Apple, man. Yeah, I don't know. There's no Biogen gapping up today to help out the market. If Biogen didn't gap up and Lilly didn't, gap up, I think yesterday could have been pretty rough. And now there's not a Biogen out there to help stabilize a lot of biotech names. There was actually really nice market breadth yesterday. A lot of stocks were green. Everything on my watch list was green. It's BTU hardly selling off, man. Let the motherfucker burn. Tobacco. That's funny. Tobacco and distilleries are the least read.
LTCCF.
That means everybody in this market just wants to be drunk. Nobody can stand being sober in this environment. Everybody needs a little whiskey.
Mos. Wind. Mos. Wind. Mos. Mos.
Yeah, a few more days for SNDX could be really constructive too.
FRSX. FNGR. Horn. FNGR.
Okay, I'll be right here. Yes, sir. Ah, what a pain in the ass. Holy cow, man. Things looking pretty crappy out there. Yeah, if Apple retraces all the way back to these lows, first of all, that would be a hell of a move. I mean, this thing goes up 35%, which is pretty unusual to begin with, and then give it all right back. That would be something. But for now, it feels like it's just controlled selling. Despite how oversold things feel, nothing necessarily has to crash. Like just because something continues to break its lows, like everybody's expecting this capitulation, which would be nice. That could mark a short to mid to even long term bottom. But it feels like it's just pretty controlled selling out here. Even as oversold as some shit looks. I mean, this is guys. Something like this. I mean, it's basically a bear market in 6 weeks. Hey, brother, I keep losing you. Yeah. What? You're not in Florida, are you? Oh, good. Oh, that's cool. Um, yeah, I'm here, man. I'm at work. I'm at whenever you need to call back, I'll be here. Thank you, man. Oh, see much of anything to do out here. Per usual. I'd like to buy things as the market's turning up, and it's just not doing that. Just got to manage what we have. And I was thinking about it yesterday. There's not a chance I'm waiting for Lily to come all the way back down to a close of the 20 just yet. I would sell another little piece below yesterday's lows. If this EP gap up doesn't hold, I would sell some more. So I only have half my original remaining position. But I was thinking about it after I said it, and then after I was looking at the chart last night, I said, because I got a 311.79 average. I'm not watching it come all the way back down there on the shares that I have. It'd still be too much to give back.
CNTX.
Oil and gas names are acting well this morning, even with the little pullback. It's actually pretty constructive, like this Oxy. Finding support right on the rising 20 on the hourly. It's nice to see. Still feel like a bum for not having bought this undercut rally setup, but whatever. Yeah, if you have a small account, it's not like you don't need to trade things. When you have a small account, you don't need to trade things that are illiquid. You just need to trade things that have a higher ADR. So, for instance, you don't want to buy an AbbVie or LLY. I can do that because I took my position was still big, even though, it's a small position because of my risk. I knew what I was risking because I was risking $4 or $3.50, $4. So it's like, I still made a ton because it was a $20 move. But maybe you wouldn't because it's a $300 name. You want to focus on things with a higher ADR. That's it. You don't necessarily need to think about. You still want liquid. You just want a higher average daily range. That's all. That's really what people with a small account want to focus on. And make sure you're sized properly, because if something moves 2.5% a day versus like something that moves 7% a day, or like TMCI was pretty high, 5.8% per day. So it literally moves almost two and a quarter times faster, 2.5 times faster than LLY. Think about that. So you just need to size properly. Yeah, at least 4% average daily range. And then the bigger your account gets, the slower of names you could play. And then again, that's when you start to really dial in and figure out your position sizing, because playing something that has a 4 ADR or 6 ADR versus something that has 2, and if I've got a really, really, really tight stop in something that is a 2 ADR, like a LLY, and I'm only risking $3, 1%, or $4, like 1 point nothing percent on a $300+ name, I could still buy a couple of thousand shares, right? And now all of a sudden, you can have like I can have I don't know, 50% of my portfolio at play, with literally I don't know, like 5 or 0.4%. When I did the math, it was like 0.4% equity risk when I took LLY. So think about that for a second. I was risking like I don't know, not that much. At least it didn't feel like it. And so that is how I think about sizing. And if it's something's really fast, and then I make sure I'm sized properly. But LLY is a $300+ name, and you're risking $4. It's like less than 1%. And so if you're only risking less than 1% on a position, and you only have then a fraction of your portfolio in there, it's like your equity risk is. Take your portfolio, multiply it by 10 or 20, and then that's really where you want to be in terms of liquidity.
SUNL. 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 ATTX.
or more, really. Take your account and multiply it by 50 even. You want to be trading
SUNL.
super liquid names, as liquid as possible. You don't want to have an effect in any stocks you're trading.
UCLE. CTHR.
Let me know when the code here. I'll just be staring at my messages here. Am I waiting for the OTP code?
CNXA.
Oh, dude, it's all good, man. There's not a whole lot to do right now, anyway, so it's mostly just sit on your hands and not get killed. I do spend my mornings and evenings in my Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I want go with American economies.
AYRR. MOS. JWEL.
That's
CONEV.
exactly right. Yeah, and that's how you know these things.
FORT. MOS. PHAS. JWEL. PEGY. SNTI. SNTI. SNTI.
Yep.
PAR.
Yeah, but basically what I was saying is I really love it.
ATGM. MCTY. IVR. SUS. STHCSTCACRO. EUTF.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want some ideas,
Free LGIQ. MOS.
it's the same amount of derivatives you put into this next trade,
DTSS.
and same amount you give all of your days on the derivatives. So you're watching them.
WDFCF.
Yeah, exactly. Like the 2 to 3 hour
DCTHH. A.
same exact thing. It's like
Most.
Yep, no problem. What do we got? Yeah, $10 million. Yeah, 10 million day. Yeah, dollar volume. You know, so consider something like this Oxy today. You know, it's already trading. It's already traded $265 million, right? Meaning you'll have absolutely no effect in this thing, right? That's my point. You don't want to have an effect in the stock, so 10x your portfolio size, and yeah, bearish ETFs hitting the scan. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't look good out there. SDS looks like it's going to go higher. Netflix is still strong. That's what we like to see. That's institutions holding the thing up, man. That's not, us. This thing's traded $612 million today. It's just me holding it up, buying the dip. Starter position. Yeah, it's just me down here. Been soaking up Netflix, for the last couple weeks. That would be nuts, man. A couple Billy. I'm more than a couple Billy. I mean, like I said, this thing's almost at $1 billion today. 900 million basically, and we're 30 minutes in. So, that's what some people gotta remember. It's like that's why I definitely don't argue with price, and we focus on things in an uptrend because those are institutional players. This isn't some you know some Discord. As much as I love Discord, this is the big players. When something's in an uptrend and then flattens out and goes sideways. Oh no. Oh no. Well, that sucks. I will listen to my own rule. We'll see if this thing will hold just for a moment. We shall see. If this can't hold here, like right now, then I'll trim another half. Deal with the rest later. Yeah, but if something, like cheaper names tend to have a faster average daily range, right? Typically. So, which also means if you're utilizing, 10% portfolio position, like, a $2 stock can have a 10-cent risk, right? Or, whatever, 10-cent risk. And if you have $1 million account, you're like, and I'm going to put 10% to work in all the trades I take. All right. Well, if you have a 10 or a 12-cent risk in a $2 stock, you might have that's I don't know, like 6%. And if if knowing like, hey, I have to take 50,000 shares here, to get $100,000 to work, versus something like, you know, um, like this AbbVie. If this AbbVie starts to break out, you might be risking $2, but you'd only be buying 1,000 shares. So like you're risking a third as you would compared to the cheaper stock, right? So because it's slower, you might be able to buy then 2,000 shares, right, to make up for how slow it is, and you're risking, 4 grand instead of 6 grand on that $2 stock, right? And you have a position that's literally 3x the size, and it's 3x the size because it's slower and your risk is tighter, but you've got more capital at work. So, you gotta. Those are two different scenarios, right? You can have 5-6 grand at risk in a $2 stock with a 12-cent stop, And you can have a $2 stop on a $145 name, and you can basically have 300 grand playing
Play.
versus the 100 grand playing. If you tried to put that same kind of money to work in that $2 stock, like 300,000, again, you would have a $15 to $18,000 risk versus that $4,000 risk. So, average daily range, and then um, you know my risk is literally the only thing I think about. Like, I don't want to just put 100 grand to work in every single name. Like, that $2 name might only allow you to put 50 or 60 grand to work, versus that $145 name might allow you to put you know way more to work. Like what happened with me and Lily. I had to. The position was bigger than a 10% portfolio position, much bigger, but my risk was small.
ILAL. BBAI.
Yeah, you know, that can happen too. Yeah, with Tesla, that's smart. I don't think that guy's an active trader though. I think that guy just liked Tesla, bought Tesla, got rich with Tesla. Every now and again, you're in a bubble market and you fall in love with a company and you just buy the absolute hell out of them and you get rich. That's how it works sometimes. Yes.
Stop. Is it yesterday's low of day?
Yes.
All right, I'm out of here. Have a great day.
Alrighty, you too. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
LGVN.
22.6 million shares. Holy shit. Okay, that's a little crazy too. The dude was already rich. Just, you know. The dude was already loaded. Dun, dun.
SUNL.
AMD, holy whoa.
SUNL.
This thing's got another gap to fill at 62. I absolutely hate buying knives like this, but we'll see what it does as it fills this gap. If it fills this gap and starts to build some higher lows, who knows? No, I don't have a rule, like not buying when the SPY is down. No, I don't have a rule like that per se. Um, I just, get a sense and a feel for the trend of the direction of the market, right? And right now, trend and direction are down. They're both down, even with yesterday's day. Now, could you have bought a thing or two yesterday when the market was pushing and you felt like, hey, we might get some oversold rally? Yeah, absolutely, you could have. Um, the market was definitely in a pretty nice uptrend yesterday. And this isn't to say that we can't bounce here again, right back up through today's highs, go red green, Okay, maybe not red green today, but maybe through intraday highs. I have no idea, or we could just keep going lower. I don't know. I just can't argue with the price. If things are going lower, I like to stay out of the way. I like to be in a market that's in a clear uptrend. It's gonna make our lives trading so much easier when we don't fight the trend of the market. Because one of these days, if this thing keeps hanging out at these lows, one of these days the future market's going to gap down hard and we're going to have an ugly limit down day and we're going to have some kind of a capitulation, and I don't want to be sized up into anything because I'm going to take losses on everything. I mean, doesn't matter what stocks you're in unless you're in like the inverse names. So, I don't want to I don't want to be levered up right now. I don't want to have big size across the board. I want to be concentrated in one or two or three names and then, be able to stay nimble in case this market decides, that it's going to have itself a black swan event. I don't want to be part of that.
SUNL. 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 BBAI. SUNL. 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 Mose. BGTTF.
Brother, sorry, man. I not paying attention to the call. Oh, sorry. I was waiting for the rep to call me back. He has been calling me back this morning. I'm just gonna wait on him. Oh. Yeah, yeah, Ariel Pintus, yes. And yeah, just recently the rep I was talking to, I tried to transfer 5,000.
SNTI. NMBR.
No, no, no. I tried transferring 5,000 from my checkings to my savings. My the rep that called me for like the last
NLCC.
last 2 weeks about the fraud.
Austin. Austin. OIG. DTGI.
Have I opened a Sapphire checking? What?
SUNL. SUNL. SSNTTS. CONEF. DBTS. Phase SSNT. SSNT. LSAK. SSNT. TGS. SUNL. TS. TLF. SUNL. OIG. Grill. TLF. OIG. MDWT. Grill. House. ANIS. MDWT. GDLCLC. ANIS. GDLC. SUNL. SUNL. SSTT. BGFCC. ZYGH. SNTI, Gopal, RCOM, SNTI, else, DTSS, SNTI, ADTX, LAS, AINC, DLPN, Vox, GNCT, ADTS, GHRS, RIN, SMUF, DTSSFPT,
Oh, I come back and we still bleeding.
ASLA, JWL, VASX, SNTI, GFOI, DTEA, SUNL, GGGG, PLPC, ASLA, PLCS, RENR,
Yeah, things look pretty bad out there.
DTEA, ONTX, ASLA, PZG,
Yeah, Netflix is still holding up well. Netflix doesn't care about what the market's doing right now. It's always nice to find a stock that doesn't care. Oh, BTU, beautiful. Hopefully, a few more red days in a row. Pull back, find support on these rising moving averages, get nice and tight. Buy that move back up.
NICH.
Scan through all these names, see what they look like. EDU doesn't look too bad. Would be nice to get a little more participation in these China names. Even better.
NBY.
GWRE if we get a snapback rally. What? North, come on, man. Really? There's 13,000 names in the stock market, and you want to bring up GWRE if the market rallies. I want to focus on future leaders. This doesn't even have the potential to be a leader anytime soon. I mean, at all.
YRID.
Save your energy, bro.
YRID.
A GWRE is nothing. It's a piece of shit. An ultimate piece of shit. You focus on names above their moving averages. Or focus on names already in an uptrend or going sideways, like this RYTM. Right? I mean, would you rather play RYTM if the market begins to rally, or would you rather play some turd who can't even get up above moving averages? I mean, I could find you 1,000 names, literally. I could find you 1,000 names like GWRE. I mean, well, why wouldn't we play Peloton if the market's gonna snap back rally? You know, why wouldn't I play this MRVI or this CRDO or this NRVO or SPR? I mean, any of these pieces of shit. We're looking for, we're looking for flowers in this carnage, right? We're looking for the nice charts in this carnage. We're not looking for the charts that look like the rest of the pieces of shit. We're looking for the ones that look like anomalies. Or even Netflix. Netflix is much better if the market rallies. Way, 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 way better. Why? Because it put in its low, in May. That stock you just mentioned just put in its low like 4 days ago. Why wouldn't we play EMPH if the market decides to snap back rally? I mean, this could potentially just be holding the 50, building out a really nice area of demand right here. There's your demand right there. It's buyers are willing to step up in this area. If the market decides to snap back rally, why not buy something that's, in a demand area versus whatever the hell else. Yeah, we want to focus on strength, brother. We don't want to focus on these. You know, it's like saying, oh, Rivian, if the market snapback rally, like what makes Rivian special? You know, it looks like the 10,000 other names out there. A stock has to grab your attention, you know, that it's doing something that a lot of other stocks aren't, you know? I mean, we just talked about something like Snow. Snow's even better than that other stock you were mentioning. This one's at least proven to you it can put in higher lows and put in a low 3 months ago. You know, hasn't even tried to revisit those. It hasn't even broken, you know, hasn't even stopped making lower lows. Or higher highs, I should say. Lower lows, higher lows, whatever. You know, it's been respecting this trend line. You get what I was trying to say. You know, so, yeah, you know, why not something like Snow? Not gonna lie, the CCJ's been acting pretty well. We'll see if what this looks like for tomorrow or the day after. What's my best percent gain of the year? My best percent gain of the year was RYTM. I caught 100% move basically. Not on the full size, but when this thing got really tight here, I bought it as it came out of those two tight days. In hindsight, I would have been a little bit more patient because it just ended up pulling right back, but then built some higher lows. This is an incredibly tight candle. I mean, buyers or sellers aren't in control, but the buyers are clearly in control because this thing's made a move up, built higher lows, got tight, and then broke out the next day. But I actually sold a little piece at 16 from 1209, and then basically some at 25, and then stopped out the rest at 21 and some change down here. So yeah, some of my sales got sold up over 100% basically. So probably all told, when the whole position was gone, it was probably like an 80% winner or something like that. Because I only sold like 15% of the position in 16. But yeah, and then another one, CELH. My first buys were down here at 67. 67, and then I added some more at 80. What was it right here? Yeah, 77, and then some more at 82. 82, yeah, right here, 85 actually. This was follow through day in the market. I bought PLAB this exact same day. PLAB didn't work, but this one did. So all told, I think this was like a 30-40% gainer, I believe. With my cost average, cost basis, yeah, 40%. I sold some into the news that Pepsi bought a stake.
Acer. Sraf. Acer. Sraf.
Oh, percent return on my account this year?
Sraf.
I think I'm at like 40%, which isn't that great, honestly. But it's been a really trying year. Honestly, I've taken some ugly losses along the way. doing some things I shouldn't have. It's a
NBIO.
period I got really quiet, that there's just not much to do after I felt like the bull oil run was kind of done.
NLSP.
I really didn't participate in the China bounce in March. I participated in the summer rally, but 40% really it was nice. It's been a blessed year, but here's the thing. If I did 40% for the rest of my life, I'll also be a billionaire soon. So I try not to focus too much on that and just focus more on the process.
NBIO. TGLO. AMIH. HGBL.
How did 2021 go? Insane. From 100 grand to 3.5 million. So I don't know,
TGLO.
whatever that is in percentage. And I didn't even really get to trade the full year. I got booted from TD Ameritrade, so I wasn't trading for
TGLO.
about 2 weeks till I got a new broker and got my money pulled out of TD and then got it transferred over. And then even when I got over the new account, um, I wasn't trading a ton, just getting kind of my feet wet with the new portfolio. Yeah, but I was day trading in the craziest market, man. I was doing really things you shouldn't be doing, like you know, going damn near all in on some sympathy plays and catching small little moves, rebuying the dip and doing the same thing over and over.
TGLO.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah, it wasn't 300%. It was way more than that.
TGLO.
I think it was like in the 3,000% or something.
QTT.
Sympathy plays. So I was just doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Like when GameStop was going absolutely crazy, I would just leave GameStop up on a screen and have costs and AMC open. And I was just scalping full portfolio size basically as I was growing the account and doing the same thing with TCAT and DLPN and LEDS and MOSI and WISA. When one was running, I was catching these really massive moves really quickly. Today's market's super weak. But who knows? Maybe one of these days is the real capitulation. Like we're just waiting for the VIX to spike pretty hard, and we're waiting for the market to give this just really ugly looking washout, just this thing that looks super brutal where everybody gets the hell out of the way and you see forced selling across the market, all asset classes, and things just speed down really fast. That could mark a short term, mid term, or long term bottom. You know, we won't know because it'll be hindsight, but that's what happens.
ISR, TGLO, TGLO,
But yeah, this SPY looks like shit.
TGLO, TGLO,
Looks like the SPY's at a new 52-week low here. Or sorry, yearly low.
ISR, LGHL,
Looks like someone had too much size.
LGHL,
What are the ticker noises in the background? That's just my scanners that I use for when I used to day trade. I've gotten used to the sound. I also built, it's Trade Ideas. I also built a large cap scanner on there, so I kind of figure out if anything's gapping up that I may have not been that I didn't scan for the night before. Maybe a company had earnings in the morning and I wasn't aware that they were going to have earnings, and they're gapping up, and I at least can see that. Yeah, I scan on Thinkorswim. I scan on Thinkorswim, and then I use MarketSmith to check the fundamentals after I have my watch list put together.
ISR,
Thanks, bro. Yeah, I mean, I try to be the voice of reason, man. I'm just trying to keep everybody out of harm's way. We don't have to try and do a whole lot in this market, guys. There's gonna be a time when everything's turning up. Like a day like yesterday, right? But imagine if we were in like a bona fide uptrend. You get a bunch of days like yesterday, just nice, healthy, you know, uptrends. Do I ever just jump in for a small scalp? Very, very, very rarely. It would have to be a really nice setup that I didn't want to swing, or oftentimes I could be like, oh, we're in a shitty market, but if this thing breaks opening range highs, I'll just scalp. You know, I'll just scalp opening range highs, buy that position, and then use like a 3 minute chart to trail on the 10-20, or a 10-minute chart. It depends how I'm feeling. But most of the time, it also depends, how the market's looking. But yeah, most of the time, I don't want to scalp. It takes the focus away from what our focus should be, which is what's showing strength. I don't really want to scalp per se. I really want to focus on things that are setting up and showing strength. If you start thinking about, oh, is this a nice, 5-minute flag? Like, you're taking your time and your eyes and your energy away from the things you should be focused on, which is what's showing relative strength, what's setting up properly, and, not wasting your mental capital on, some, again, like if I just did a quick scalp, for 1,000, 2,000 bucks, whatever. It's nice money. It is, and it adds up. But I don't want to just sit at my desk all day and just tally up 2 grand at a time, just to come up with 1,000 good ideas just to make ends meet. It's too much work. It's way too much work. I would rather just buy one nice chart like Lily and then get paid 1,000 of those scalps overnight or in a week or whatever.
WCUI.
I don't want to burn up my brain, just having to come up. And then, it's, again, we talked about why day trading's hard. Day trading's hard because, I would be trying to take advantage of a scalp knowing, hey, this thing doesn't really have the potential in my mind to go higher, like sustainably higher for days or weeks. It's just a nice 5-minute chart, and I plan on just treating it like a 5-minute chart. And if you do that, this is even better for FSLR. And if you do that and you want to take advantage of like a smaller percent gain, well then you have to size up. You have to take bigger size. And if you take bigger size and you're wrong, your loss is going to be bigger. And again, I'd just rather avoid that headache altogether. I'd rather just size into something properly that I can believe move a healthy percent gain. Versus oversize into something that I have to really fight for my average. I could have bought Lily anywhere. 212 or 312, 311, 313, 315. It really wouldn't have made that big of a difference. But when you day trade, you have to have your sizing like bigger, just to take advantage of that smaller, 5-minute chart, 10-minute chart, whatever. It's more of a pain in the ass than you'd think. And again, that was possible in 2021 because everything was flying higher, right? And if GameStop was going higher, AMC was right behind it. It was just part of the market we were in. So you just had to be, faster than everybody else to click the button. That's all it was. And then just be quick at dumping the position too.
LGHL.
Yeah, insane range. And I was using insane size. Guys, I remember I was trading with like, caught like $1 million back in, I don't know, like May. Well, no, even less. Like when GameStop costs and AMC were going, I was probably trading with like $500,000, and I was still going, full leverage into some positions. I mean, like I said, I remember taking 20, 30,000 shares of cost at $30, and I'll never forget, just like catching these 70, 80 cent pops, dollar pops in literally a minute or two, and making 30, 40 grand in a minute or 20 grand in a minute, and then selling the position, and then watching GME pull back, and then watching GME find some support on a rising moving average and keep going. And how much would I lose per trade? Very little, because things were all going up, and I cut my losses really small. Like I would cut them and just look to re-enter. Reading level 2 and time and sales helps. One of these, it's nice to learn to read one of these. I keep these off to the side on my charts. It's something I recommend for you guys to learn. Not necessary, but how do I best learn tape reading? Getting a tape in front of you and practicing. Having it in front of you and understanding like, okay, this is the area I believe that there's clear resistance, and draw some simple lines on your chart, and then as the price approaches that level, how does it react? And that's really all you're doing. As something comes down to an area you believe is support, What are you expecting to see on the tape? And then you get some things that line up. Uh, you see some heavy bids, you see some hidden buyers, or something's approaching resistance. You could see hidden sellers because the price can't break through, even though level 2 on the ask is pretty thin. So all these little things you guys will learn, but you have to get the tape in front of you. And I don't really even look at the tape anymore. The only thing I care about when I look at the tape is how it looks when it's going through my pivot level. Do I see some healthy order flow going through? Do I see the volume picking up? Do I see, maybe a characteristic change in the tape once it breaks through? Do I see, maybe short sellers are covering or new buyers are coming in? So you're going to see that pressure in the tape as it pushes away from your average.
LGHL.
What's my background prior to 2020? I was in prison. I went to college at UIC in Chicago. I sold weed, and I got arrested, went to prison, and I was locked up from 2018 to 2020. And I got home in April 1st, just as the midst that right in the midst that the market was recovering in April. And I remember I got home and some friends were making money on Robinhood, and I was like, what do you guys, what the hell's going on here? And everybody's making money in crypto and stocks. And I'm like, what? Like for the last, month or two, my friends are making money. And, I was like, well, I got nothing to do. I was like, I would love to make some money. And I went over to StockTwits because that's like the only place I knew at the time that talked about stocks. And I went to StockTwits, and right at the very top, you'd get the tickers that were trending, and then I would like click on it because it was up like 50% or 100% on the day. I was like, what the hell? And then in that like little chat, I saw like some kid give a overnight idea, and I didn't obviously take it, but then the very next morning I was still on StockTwits, and that stock was up another 30%, and he was like, oh, my 4 overnight ideas all solid, like all 30%, 20%, 50%. And I was like, what the so turns out this was Cam the Man, who's a good buddy of mine now, and he's a solid day trader, and he took advantage of that market as well. And I just kind of joined his Discord, started day trading, and then started learning how to day trade, participated in the craziest market, and then decided swinging was more my style. But my background in 2020, before 2020, was a troublemaker, man. I was a troublemaker. Always looking to get into something that I probably knew I shouldn't. Man, this oxy, dude. Ah. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna take some in this little green candle, this undercut rally setup, and on the smaller time frame, it looked, pretty good. But I didn't. Regretting the decision today, but it doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, right down here. And on an even smaller time frame, I had a fairly nice, pretty obvious setup. Got underneath it, consolidated just underneath, and then ripped back over on big volume. As soon as it started to turn back up, here was your opportunity to get in. Set your stop at the low of day. Yeah, that setup works. That's the undercut rally setup. It does work.
AXIN.
Yeah, Netflix looks cool. Yeah, Netflix looks good. We'll see what happens when it gets over yesterday's high. Could be a good one if the market's bouncing. BJ's didn't hit my alert, and neither did AbbVie. Didn't hit my alert. Netflix. Interesting.
ADV.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Netflix wants to do here. It's definitely it's acting, much better than the market. Which again, it's not saying a whole lot, but
BLEG. BLEG.
and Netflix moves plenty fast too. We'll see if it can get over yesterday's highs and then, just kind of maybe put in a little higher low or two on the smaller time frame. I might be interested. Oh, got it. As it was finding support on the rising 20 on the hourly. I see that. Hey, girl. we'll see. We'll just reset an alert here and see what it does if it gets back over. That's exactly why I usually don't just buy something when my alert hits. You know, a lot of times I like to get a little quick peek at the smaller time frame and see how it acts. You know, I don't want to buy, you know, I want to see that area of supply break and clear, you know, as day. What's up, girl? What's up? And then again, this is where it's little skill like, you know, level 2 and time and sales comes into play. You know, being able to read the tape, being able to see some supporting bid, you know. It's always nice as something starts to break out. What's up, girl? What's wrong with you? My dog is just won't leave me alone. You know, and by the way, I look at multiple time frames because it helps me get what's called time frame confluence, right? You know, I know what the daily looks like already. I know it's made a move up. I know it's been consolidating for 2.5 months, right? I know that the 10, 20, 50 on the daily are pushing up. I could see that it's pushing up on the hourly. You know, I could see that the moving averages are nice and clean on the 10-minute. You know, the 3-minute helps me piece myself in if I want to sometimes take a bigger position, you know. And again, you know, it looks fine on the hourly, but on the smaller time frame, you know, it keeps rejecting that supply level. So, which is essentially right over yesterday's highs. So, no, I did not buy. I want to see price get over yesterday's high, and then I want to see it maybe hold and put in some higher lows. Guys, it doesn't matter if I own a 247 60 or 246.60 or if I own a, you know, 248.02. You know, my sizing's going to be proper no matter what. So, you know, give or take $1 of risk extra on a 200 and call it almost $40 name. Like, I can only buy so many of these as is. And I would rather risk, you know, for myself, like I would rather risk an extra $300, but to have that healthier feeling in my gut that, hey, this is going to go higher, you know. Or for you guys, like some of you guys, like you guys might be happier risking an extra $5 or $10 or $15, knowing that, you know, this indeed is a chart that's breaking out versus, you know, it's just hitting this, you know, supply area and rejecting, you know, supply, reject, and you know, it still looks good on the daily, it still looks good on the hourly. You know, a new hourly candlestick starting, you know. So if we start to break over these little tops, you know, of yesterday and even these two smaller wicks on a smaller time frame, then, you know, go through, pull back, hold, and then, you know, I'll be a tad bit more interested. Or I'll see ramping volume going through level 2. You know, I'll see ramping volume going through level 2 as it's going, you know, through that level. And again, that's where practicing level 2 and reading tape is a skill that anybody can acquire, but it's a good one to have. It's a good one to have. Yeah, learning how to identify good setups is easy. It's literally super easy. But, you know, knowing when to push that setup and take a step back, that's you know, that's market conditions. You know, if you're in a healthy market, go ahead and push the envelope. You're in a shit market, you know, you want to do the absolute least. What's my reading on Tesla? That I need to see it get over 288 and a half. I'm not even really worried about the tape on Tesla right now. Not until it can get back up to those levels. You know, anything that happens between here and 288 is pretty irrelevant to me. Is that because of the size you want to take? If you're talking about Tesla, you know, it just needs time to set up. It just needs time. I mean, Tesla's got no setup right now. It looks, you know, on the daily like it just came up. You know, it might have found this, you know, they're building these little higher lows, but it came up, it hit the now declining 10 and 20 and is rejecting. You know, so I'm not interested in it until it starts to push back up. I don't want to buy weakness, I want to buy strength. You know, Tesla's going to need realistically like 2 weeks. Like, or maybe a little less. And then if, you know, if it sets up a little low cheat, and again, a little low cheat could be, you know, maybe back over 288. And that could just take a handful of days, you know. We could even get a really nice close today and a small gap up tomorrow, and then, you know, and you're buying it tomorrow potentially over 288 as a little low cheat setup, like half size of what you'd normally want, and then, you know, you'd add more over 313. I like piecing myself in sometimes, especially in an unhealthy market like this. You know, I'd rather buy and bring my average up than just to size in fully in a shitty market and then be wrong more often than not. Like, I'd rather the stock prove me right and then you know, and then add to it. And of course, you know, Netflix hits this supply area, supply, and then rejects. Now, what does that mean for every other time frame? Well, the daily still looks good. The hourly can pull back and consolidate longer, would only make it that much nicer. You know, if this thing rejects this level and then goes tomorrow, it would be that much nicer. You know, as long as it doesn't break down. You know, but if this thing hangs out between the, you know, if the hourly candlesticks hang out right up above 240 and 245, boy, that's going to be a super tight candle going into tomorrow, right? So that ideally, that's what I would see. Ideally. But yeah, that would be the most ideal scenario with Netflix. And again, I feel like I never get the ideal scenario. Yeah, Tesla's interesting. That 362 area seems to be pretty decent on SPY. It's holding that pretty well. It's been holding these June lows pretty well, consolidating against June lows. I personally don't love the consolidation. It's just giving a chance for these moving averages to catch up. But, it's also, who knows when these sellers get exhausted. Too hard to say. Yeah, I'd like to see DVN set up too. DVN's holding up pretty well.
CGSI.
This name's been acting well lately. Ever since it found some support on the rising 200, it's been acting really well. Oh man. And I'm like asking myself in the back of my head, how long can the market hold up it with Apple going lower? I'm not sure. But it's down 5% today. That's brutal. Some certain stocks don't care, right? That's why I wish I were in an Oxy. I wish. I mean, I will say this: it will be nice when Apple's finally done taking a bath. That'll help our markets out big time. It's kind of weird seeing Apple go down so much and our market's not really responding in a big way. You know, it's actually a good thing. Hey, Mom, buenos dias. Guys, give me a second.
LGHL.
Burn, apple, burn, burn, apple, burn. 20% in a couple weeks. What's up, brother?
Hey, Bill today?
Bill. I haven't heard that name in a while. Oh, yeah, wow. Well, Bill doesn't care about the market today. It's doing just the opposite of Apple. That's for sure. It's doing just the opposite.
EVML. SXNTF. Draft. DCNNF. LGHL. DCNNF. DCNNF. GG. LGHL. LGHL. LGHL.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing going on here. I mean, literally. There's this is dead slow out here. But again, the market can turn on a dime. So we keep our alerts set, and if something hits, we take a peek and execute. But yeah, see how that's Netflix is a perfect example as to why I use time frame confluence. Yeah, if you would have literally bought as soon as that alert hit over yesterday's high, you'd be staring at red right now instead of just like zooming into a little bit smaller of a time frame. Watching it really break over that level, reading level 2 and time and sales to help you make that informed decision. But there's literally nothing going on, guys. I mean, I'm bored as hell. Nothing to do. That's cool. $60 is $60. It's just a matter of, letting your winners work when you got them. We'll see how the next, hour starts to look. Maybe Apple starts to push back up.
SIOX. MTZ. ESRTF. UCSDLD. AINC. 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 Copy. Flow. PTMM. PTMM. Wind. Wind. MTZ. SSKN.
Yeah, I've got an alert on snow over 175. I've got no interest really in it yet.
CBDS. IFRX. NHELTX. MERS. INVF. Yen. PLYN. MTZ. CTID. Force. CBLT. BPLT. BPLT. PMTX.
Dollar's going down, TLT's going up.
GTTX. GLGLOPP. Test. MMH. SMFL. NHTHTC. MTIC. LIQT. GSQT. TRN.
Honestly, I'm just watching the price action on Oxy. I don't really see any other charts out there that look or that are even working this well. You know, really, I'd like to see Oxy get back up above its moving averages and then give me some sort of tight pivot. You know, since I didn't buy the undercut rally, which is just disappointing. That's too fucking bad. But yeah, I don't know. At this point, you know, it's on the daily. It's coming up to the declining 20 and 50. So, you know, I don't necessarily want to get aggressive into anything like this. I'd rather just wait, you know. Maybe over 68 down the road sometime. Or who knows. Yeah, a lot of these LNG's another, you know, things are pretty strong. It's LNG strong. Look at LNG already up above its 10 and the 20. Yeah, these oil gas names are still a whole lot stronger than a lot of people think. Yeah, DV Oxy is on a tear today too.
BLEG. GLDRF.
Halfway decent little bounce in the market. We'll see.
GLDRF. GLDRF. GLDRF.
Nat looked good. What happened to it yesterday? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's this is part of the reason why I avoid cheap names. Honestly, the stocks that are most likely to double in our market are in the $30 range, not in the two. I mean, again, you can get a really nice move, but how's Snow looking? Snow's looking better. I wouldn't buy it today though. Risk would be $10. I'm good on that. I wouldn't want my risk at low of day. I'd rather just reevaluate it tomorrow and see what the hell it looks like. No reason to try and buy something like that today. Netflix, on the other hand, that one's a bit more doable. You're risking about $7-8 a share, but it's way more expensive than Snow. Not way more expensive, but less size required and tighter stop, really. Yeah, Snow would just be a simple, easy to pass. Yeah, AZPN. I saw. I think I came across this one yesterday. It's just too thin, man. It's just. I mean, it's expensive. It's just.
EPAZ.
I mean, it could have worked. Could have worked.
EPAZ.
Really, the entry would have been for me right over this top. As it found support on the rising 20, and then You know, it's either going to break below or it's
EPAZ.
going to break up, right? It's, you know, it's our, and the thing is what's the trend it's already in? It's in an uptrend. So then it pulls back, you know, finds support against the 20, you know, closes above. And then, I mean, it wasn't a textbook setup, but if you're ready for this, you know, you could have definitely bought 255 with proper size. Or, sorry, 225. With a 222.65 stop, that would have been a good one. Yeah, I mean, it would have been a good one. But it's also, you know, it's somewhat slow. 3% ADR. A little thin, you know, but it wasn't bad. This was almost a little bit better of a setup. This like downtrend break. None of it was perfect though. Then you have to ask yourself, you know, what was the trend leading up to that? You know, trend's always kind of been up on this thing. Choppy as shit, but the trend's been up. This chart here is mesmerizing. It's in this giant megaphone. You know, I don't know what the hell it'll do, but it's pretty mesmerizing how it's respecting the trend lines to the upside and the downside megaphone style. I don't see much to do here. Honestly, just monitor what you own. You know, there's just nothing's really going to be perfect today. Yep, there's just nothing. There's not going to be a whole lot. You know, I'm not going to rush out and buy snow. No way. And I won't buy. I mean, maybe Netflix if that alert hits later, but I just doubt it too. I just doubt it. I'd like to see the market pushing up a little bit better. You know, you buy this little push out and it doesn't push out far enough by the end of the day, and then the market gaps down overnight and you're just going to be red. Just going to be shooting yourself in the foot. Might as well just be patient. You know, there's gonna come a time when all this buying any one of these is just gonna be way easier. You know, the market will be way more forgiving.
Moz. 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 Moz.
All right, guys. I don't really see a ton to do. Set some alerts, manage your positions, and we'll come back tomorrow with a clear head. You know, no baggage. You know, we were looking at BJ, and BJ alert didn't trigger. You know, we were looking at AbbVie, and AbbVie wasn't triggering. You know, we were looking at what the hell else? Snow, no trigger. Although, you know, it's acting pretty well here,
BLEG.
but it's a no go for me. Netflix, same deal. You know, tomorrow. It's getting late in the day. You know, it's getting later in the day. You know, and those alerts might trigger, but they're just the risk would be too high on them. Later in the day, you know, a wider stop on something like snow. Yeah, you know, it just wouldn't be perfect. Again, guys, I don't want to take suboptimal setups. I don't want to take setups in a shitty market. I don't, you know, there's just no need to push the envelope. There's a time to do all that.
SELA.
Yeah, there's just not a whole lot to do. So we'll come back tomorrow. We'll scan and we'll see what's left standing. Again, Apple and Tesla don't look great, and you know those are like the last two generals left standing. Again, I don't know how much worse it gets if those two continue to roll over, but I'm assuming it probably won't be pretty. Just would be my guess.
TCCCP.
If I had to take a guess. So, with that said, we will see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe out there. Don't do anything crazy, even if alerts trigger. You know, it's probably best to avoid for right now. You know, look for things that are a little bit cleaner. You know, the snow's interesting for sure, but we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. You know, if the market has a nice little push day tomorrow, and you know these 175s are going to clear in a healthy, nice little market. You know, if tomorrow bounces, you know, snow probably could go from 175 to 180 plus. You know, and you'd be sitting in the driver's seat on a trade like that. But you know, we want to engage in that position when the market's pushing back up. And fact is this wouldn't look good today, and BJ wouldn't look good today. AbbVie wouldn't look good today. You know, none of the names we were really looking at would look good today. Nice to see gold continue to bounce. That's nice. Nice to see the dollar continue to come down. That's nice. You know, nice to see the treasuries hold up pretty well. This is the best they've performed all year. You know, so yeah, just some patience, guys. Patience, and you know, I promise things will get easier, way easier. But in the meantime, you know, we're not going to burn up our capital, or we're not going to burn up our mental capital. Both of those need to be protected. So until tomorrow, guys, don't do anything crazy. Be safe out there. And if you're in Florida, be even more safe. Have a good one, guys.